This is the plaintiff, Dorian Schiff. She says she and the defendant were in a relationship and at one time lived together. She stored some of her stuff in his storage unit, and once they split up, he took it upon himself to discard her precious things. Her phone number's been the same since the beginning of time, so she can't understand why the louse didn't call her before he trashed the $2,000 worth of stuff she once owned. This is the defendant, Mark Davis. He says the plaintiff's a vindictive woman who loves suing people because she enjoys being a pain in the neck. That's right, she harasses his family, his clients, and now she's using this lawsuit as an excuse to see him and be in contact with him. As far as her items, he got rid of the storage unit 2 years ago, and everything in it was his. He's accused of trashing an ex's stuff. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $2,000 for harassment.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay, Dorian Schiff, you are suing Mark Davis for $2,000 in items, mostly baby items that you say were in his storage room and he got rid of without your consent. Tell me what's going on.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
I was given permission by Mark Davis in 2000.
How did you two know each other?
I was in a relationship with him in the past.
How long were you in a relationship?
About 3 years.
3 years. Okay, you were given permission by him.
To store the baby items in the U-Haul storage along with his.
Okay. And when did you do that?
I did that in June of 2009.
Okay.
So I contacted him in the summer of 2012, and I inquired about my
But
items.
what happened between 2009 and 2012?
2009 and 2012, we weren't together anymore.
But why did you take your stuff when you guys broke up?
Well, because I did ask him, do you need me to take the stuff? And he said, no, I have stuff in storage. If anything changes or I'm going to give up the storage, I will contact you. So
have you had any contact with him between 2009 and 2012?
No, we haven't.
Did you ever pay any storage fees?
No, I did offer money in 2009, and then I contacted him in 2012. I inquired about the storage.
When you offered money, what did he say?
He said, no, I did tell you that you can store your stuff there with me since I needed room to store my item that was in your house, and there's no need for you to give me anything.
I understand. When you guys broke up, didn't he need those items and then put them into the new place?
No, he still had them in the storage. He still kept the storage.
Where'd he go when you guys broke up?
He ended up sleeping in his car in Home Depot parking lot.
Oh, well, then I guess you don't need the stuff that's in the storage.
His stuff stood in storage, right.
Okay.
So I did ask him, I did contact him in 2012, and I inquired about my items in storage, and he said, oh, there's no need, don't worry about that. I've been taking care of that. So I hadn't spoken to him again, and I contacted him August 11th, 2013, and I told him that I needed to retrieve the stuff out of storage. And he said he was with a customer.
Why did you need it now, after 4 years or whatever that it's been over there?
Because I actually would be able to use the baby stuff right now.
Because you're going to have a baby.
Correct.
Good for you.
Yes.
Congratulations. Why are you so shy about it? All right, go on.
And of course, he had given me the okay, and I offered him money in 2012. You see, when me and Mark resided, one thing has nothing to do with the other, but when he was residing with me, he used to always say, I wish I could contribute. He paid nothing, so I guess he felt that that's the least he could do as far as paying for storage.
So what happened in 2013 when you called him and said?
Okay, so when I called him then, he said he was with a customer and he would call me right back. I managed to say to him before he hung up, oh, I was just calling because I'm ready to retrieve my stuff out of storage. And he said, oh, storage? I got rid of that a long time ago. So I was surprised, like, well, what do you mean you got rid of it?
So did he call you back after his client?
No, he never ever called me back.
Did you call him?
If I called him?
Yeah, did you call him?
Yes, I contacted the job to speak to him. I did speak to his manager.
Why did you speak to his manager?
Because when I had called there, and you would have to go through certain prompts to speak to like a representative, a sales representative.
Wait, I'm sorry. Why are you speaking to anybody else at his job but him? When he says, I'll call you back, and he doesn't, do you call him back?
No, I didn't.
So you just went straight to court after he had said that before hanging up because he didn't call you back? What's going on?
Yeah.
Your Honor, first of all,
were you sleeping in a car in a Home Depot parking lot? Did it really go that rock bottom when she dumped you?
Well, let me just start from the beginning. We were married.
We don't want to start in the Home Depot parking lot in the car.
No, not at all. Although it's a pretty nice parking lot.
It's a nice parking lot. That's parking lots and cars go.
But anyway,
is it a nice car?
It's a beautiful car.
Okay.
But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But we were married. We were married for 3 years.
Wait, you were married or
Yes,
you were in a relationship?
We were married.
Were you married?
Yes, we were, but it's like it never happened.
What do you mean it's like it never happened?
Well, it's like it never happened. So
what are you, a
that's-
bigamist? You didn't
No,
want
that's
someone else to know you were married? How do you not? Were you married or were you in a relationship?
Right, we were married, but
Who
you know,
does
when
that?
you got
Who
a
calls
divorce,
a relationship? Who calls a three-year marriage?
It was about, it was 3 years once we were from
Who
beginning
calls
to
a
end.
who's the girl
No, it wasn't
laughing?
3
Is that your
years.
daughter?
Yes, it is. She's
Okay,
my
who
witness.
calls a three-year marriage a relationship? Were you?
Well, because
You're bigamist. Were you married to somebody else? So
no, I wasn't.
Why do you want to erase it so badly?
No, it was a mistake.
Okay, but mistakes
It
happen.
really
It's still
was a
marriage.
mistake, and it really was a mistake. And just like I said, he's always said, "Oh, I wish
Go
I could
ahead,
contribute."
go ahead.
He
I don't want to
paid
hear that.
nothing.
I'm stunned. I'm just.
Okay.
I'm very surprised.
So
Go ahead.
that's why
you were
lived-
married. Okay.
Yes, that's why we lived together.
Oh.
Okay, that kind of makes sense, right? We had issues, and I just, appeased her, and I left the house. She asked me to leave, and I left. And of course, I had to get storage because I had nowhere else to go. I was staying with friends. I had stayed in hotels. Of course, I stayed in my car a couple of times. But I didn't know exactly what was going on in our relationship. So I got the storage, and
When did you get the storage?
I got the storage in 2009.
Okay.
It was the first time I left.
Okay.
2007. Yeah, 2009.
But how did it come about that she says she stored all her baby stuff in there?
My stuff could barely fit and I had stuff stored in my car as well. And, I have no idea, to tell you the truth, what she's talking about this.
Because you never gave her permission to store baby stuff in there?
No, I never gave her
Did you ever
permission.
give her the keys so she could store stuff
I never
in
gave
there?
her the keys. It was my storage.
So she's either out and out making it up 3 years out. How long have you guys been separate? Been divorced?
We've been divorced officially 2 years.
Okay, so 2 years later,
Mm-hmm.
do you doubt that in her head that her baby stuff was there? I mean, because it's kind of a weird thing to turn
right.
around and sue somebody for 2 years after you're rid of them.
Absolutely.
She says she called you in August of 2012 and said, you still have my stuff. And that after the breakup, she said to you, do you want me to contribute? None of that ever happened, according to you.
No, never.
And did she, when was the first time you learned that she claimed to have baby stuff in there?
August 6th, 2013. I just gotten back from my vacation. It was my first day back at the job. And I'm getting acclimated, I'm getting busy, and I get a phone call from her. And after the divorce, it was a bad situation. Like she said, it was a mistake, and everything was settled in the divorce. We both went our separate ways.
Did you have
and that was
a
it.
settlement agreement that released each other from claims?
We had a settlement.
Can I see
yes. I actually don't have that.
You didn't bring it? You're being sued for
let
something
me tell you why.
Stop, because I want to grasp my hands around this. I understand you're not a lawyer, but let's see if I've got this straight. You know enough to tell me she can't sue me, Judge, because we have a settlement agreement and it releases each of us from future claims. But you didn't prove that. You didn't bring your settlement agreement to court today. Why? Are you still living out of your car in a Home Depot? Or do you have, why didn't you bring it?
Welcome back to the People's Court, Harvey. 11 years. So who has a harder time when a relationship ends, men or women?
I think women do.
What do you say?
I think they just get more attached.
What do you think?
I agree with her. I think women do.
Anybody think men?
No.
Really?
I think the guy does, yes. The guy is always pining and thinking about it in the back of his mind. He doesn't want to admit it to anybody, so it stays inside him longer.
Everybody's looking and saying, what? Going inside the courtroom.
I lost a lot of things moving back and forth.
But was there a lawyer involved?
There was a lawyer.
And why couldn't you just get it from the lawyer's office?
I actually got this, the divorce decree from the...
Yeah, except for that the divorce decree that you handed the court just says we're divorced. It doesn't tell me the details of the release, which is, it's a slam dunk and the case is over
Right.
if I see the release. Do you have the divorce papers?
No, I don't.
No, you don't
But
even
I have-
admit there was a marriage.
Right.
Why would I
But
think
I
that
have-
you'd have the divorce papers? How are you going to prove $2,000 worth of, let's see, an $800 Bugaboo stroller from 7 years ago?
Judge, I have,
a $340 playpen and bassinet, a trend snap. How do I know you're not just making stuff up that you want now. Like, this is your little wish list over at Babies R Us. You can't just make stuff up. I mean, I need to see proof that you had
Your
stuff
Honor,
there.
I have proof right here.
Okay.
I have proof of, and also pictures of all the baby items that I have. And also, I have a
Let me see
copy
them.
of the U-Haul storage that he got in 2009. June of 2009, but my items was put in before.
Okay, this is just a piece of paper where you typed stuff.
Correct.
Okay, this is
Correct.
not proof.
No,
this you could do.
the
This
pictures.
you could have done 4 seconds ago.
Correct.
These are pictures of what things cost.
Yes.
That is not proof that you had it there 5 years ago.
Right.
This is yes. If you buy today a beautiful Bugaboo Cam 3rd generation, you pay $900. Yes, I know that. That is not proof of that you had this item in there 5 years ago. Which, by the way, you still wouldn't get that $900 for a stroller value because it would have been depreciated.
Right.
But so you understand how you can just make
Correct.
your little wish list like this, but that doesn't proof. Show me one receipt for any of this stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Do you have a receipt?
No, I don't have a receipt because it was so long ago, but I have proof right here from U-Haul.
Yeah, what's your proof from U-Haul? You're going to tell me. Let's see it. And you have a counterclaim
the
against her for
vacant-
$2,000 for what?
Harassment, calling
What's a
my
harassment?
job, keeping me from my customers.
How is she keeping you from your customers?
Well, because I have to stop and take my calls. My manager pulled me over to the side while I was with my customer.
But how
and
many
said,
times did she call you?
About 5 or 6 times.
Okay, so 5 or 6 phone calls you think makes a $2,000 harassment
And calling,
case?
and calling my home, my roommate, calling my roommate.
And saying what?
Saying, asking to speak to me.
Was
And-
there a divorce decree in this case? You guys got a divorce, right?
Yeah, we did get.
And did you both have lawyers?
Yes, I did.
There's no way that settlement agreement doesn't contain the clause that every single lawyer puts in every single one of them that says we forever hold each other harmony. I mean, he's disorganized, and he didn't bring it, which he should have, because I'd have stopped talking 8 minutes ago. But how can you tell me that settlement agreement doesn't have that clause?
Yeah.
Huh? I didn't hear you.
I wasn't even thinking of anything like that as far
Right.
as the divorce.
Okay, now
decree
what
or
is
anything.
this U-Haul self-storage rental agreement?
Correct. It states that there was furniture in there.
Okay, all it says is type of goods stored furniture.
That's what was in there, is furniture.
But you're
My
talking about
furniture.
$900 baby strollers.
Your Honor,
Okay, I'm sorry. You keep saying I have proof and flinging stuff at me, and then when I question you on it, it doesn't prove what you're saying. I mean, I know they're not going to go list everything that's in there. I understand that, but this doesn't help you. Let me tell you something. I believe that you believe that stuff was in there, but you have numerous problems. Number one, you were married to the man. You had a settlement decree with 2 lawyers involved and a judge, and there is no way that clause isn't in there, even though the guy didn't bring it. But let's just put that to a side, and let's just look at what can you prove. We have an issue that's 4 years ago. It's when you broke up, and you don't have a single receipt for anything. And you're asking for these astronomical figures for $900 strollers, as though they were brand new instead of 5 years old and dumped by you in some. Assuming that you're to be believed and it's truthful that they're dumped by you in some place and abandoned for 4 years. You can't prove this case, Ms. Schiff. I'm sorry. And my verdict in this case is for the defendant. And by the way, on your counterclaim for harassment, 0.
Thank you.
Well, the plaintiff's case is out of gas, and you come out of here with nothing because you understand how this works and you're just unable to prove the claims.
yes, I do.
Okay, so no problem
And
with
I'm
the
just
judge's
very
ruling.
happy that I don't have to deal with this individual again.
Well, there was a time you felt totally differently about him, right? What did you see in him at that
mistake.
time? What did you see in him?
I'll just leave it at that. It was just a big mistake.
Right.
And I'm very happy the decision I made is the decision I made.
All right.
Yep.
Good luck with
Thank
everything.
you. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, good luck. All right, so step on in here. You hear what she has to say. How do you feel about this?
Well, she could not prove it because it never happened.
Why would she
Justice
sue you?
prevailed.
Why would she sue you then if it never happened? Why would she be suing you?
Because she would do anything to try to. She's always been trying to do bad things to me, making me feel terrible because the marriage didn't work out. So I did my best in the marriage. It just wasn't a good idea.
When was the last time you had to sleep in the Home Depot parking lot? When was the last time?
No, that maybe happened twice. That's because I just decided.
It's in the past?
Yeah, it's in the past.
Okay. All right, good luck to you.
Okay.
Harvey?
Okay, FYI, rules on abandoning property vary wildly from state to state. And before you do anything with what you think is abandoned property, you should check with your local police department. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.